All right, it is Monday. It is March the 9th, 2026, and this is your daily market report here in the area, here in the rural area, the Western Suburbs of Chicago. If you're interested to know what are the properties that are available today, this is the video to watch. I'm going to break it down into three parts, basically. The first part, we're going to talk about what's the available homes for sale here in the rural area, as well as number two, what opportunities are available for real estate investors. And if there's any property that has shown up that's new, I will run the comps here live in the video so that you can basically see the process and be one of the first to know if the property that we're scanning is an investment. Okay, so without taking up too much of your time, what I'm going to do here is bring up what's happening here in the real estate market. I'm going to do a quick, live when I make the video, a video here, results as far as what is happening here in the market. Okay, so as I'm here rambling, right, I am pulling up what the properties are available, and currently right now, as of this very minute, that is 11:25 a.m., I am seeing here in the map in this radius, which does cover the Aurora area, a little bit of Naperville, a little bit of North Aurora, etc. But we found 441 properties available for sale altogether. Okay, that number is a good, healthy number as far as the context of the last 12 months go, and being that it's March, the spring season is kicking in, so that's a healthy number, at least in the short-term historical context. Okay, we're not talking about 10-15 years ago here. I'm talking about just the last year to 2 to 3 years is the number that we've been seeing. That's an average number, so we're not seeing crazy high numbers or crazy low numbers as far as the last 3-year window goes. It's been the same constant throughout. Okay, now let's take a look at the properties that are 300 or less in as far as price goes. Again, $300,000 or less. So let me bring up this one here. All right, so I'm going to put in the search of 300,000 or less. Now I'm going to show you here what the properties are. Okay, why 300,000 or less? Why is that important? The reason why it's important is because this is the number that people have told me that they're looking for as far as investors go. Now, obviously, you can always buy a property higher than 300,000. For it to be a flip, that's good and all, and I can absolutely do that. If you have a property that you want to also run comps on that's over 300,000, make sure to reach me at 630-777-4597, as I am a real estate broker here in this area. But the reason I focus on 300,000 or less is because that's the number that other investors have told me, and I also seen by experience that if you're looking to buy and hold and rent out the property, it doesn't make sense to pay a mortgage of a house that's over 300,000 and rent it out. Right? There's just no room for any cash flow monthly. So I've seen if the property is 300,000 or less, it does give us the hope, the possibility of there being a good cash flow. Okay, so as of now, we've been averaging, I got to give you a little bit of context here. The last week or so, we've been averaging around 22 available. That is properties that are active on the market, that don't have any sort of temporary no-show status, that are not in the private market. Like, these are public, available to show right now, and they're hungry for offers at the moment. Okay, about 22 is what we're averaging. Okay, so as far as this morning goes here, that now that the weekend is over, we're starting to recuperate, we're starting to recover, and now we're back at 5 Monday morning here talking about the properties. I do see here, when we include all of the properties, there's 34, but let me actually filter it even further to remove the ones that are in the private and those that are temporary no-show status. Right? According to this number here, remember 22 was the average, and this morning what we're looking at here, let me zoom out a little bit. This is the area. You can see they're more clustered into the Fox River area, closer to the downtown. We do see some here more of them in the east side of Aurora. We do see about 6 of them in the west side. That's the west side of the river, the Fox River here. We do see about 4, even 5 of them right now here, but it's a total of 21. Okay, so do we have a crazy huge number? No, of course not. We're just recovering from the weekend. Several properties, had their showings. They accepted offers. Even one of my buyers this weekend has an accepted offer on one of these properties, which is great and all. So that one did come off the market, but we're still seeing 21 properties or so available. Okay, now of these properties, do we see any of them that are currently available? See, I'm going to show you here in the window some of these properties that have been on the market here. Grove Street, there's Smith Street, there's Pueblo Road. These have been in the market for about 4 or 5 days. So there's nothing new that's come to the market. Nothing new that's just brand spanking new. Last night it hit, or this morning it's been on the market. Nothing new. So as far as the numbers go here, let me show you what's available for you if you're a real estate investor. Okay, so this is the list that I have currently. Right now, you're not going to see it all on the screen, but there's a whole lot of description here that I personally look at. Okay, I look at these properties and I run the numbers for you. I run not only the rental comparables, but I also run the mortgage calculator, at least from a realtor perspective, using calculators that have a reputation for being consistent and reliable. from title companies, right? And then I also, look at what the houses can sell for in that particular area. I look at the photos, I look at the comparables. There's a lot of work that is into this, a lot of science into this, right? So of those that I've seen, not all 21 of those properties are, available for, or I would say not all of these properties are good for flips. Out of all of these homes, I see there's about 13 of them right now. I see them 13 properties. That is Bank Street, Spring Garden, Long Beach. All these properties here are available for sale, but not all of them are great for investors, okay? But I did find that 3 of them are, right? These 3 right here will be right here on Bank Street, which this is the property right here. It looks like that. That one here is currently on the market, right? There it is. I zoomed in too much, but there we go. So that property is still available. I walked this property a couple of times here. It does feel pretty solid. The basement was a little bit moist. There is work to be done here. So that property, the price for this one is going at, I'll tell you right now, it's going for $180,000. Now it does have multiple offers, and highest and best is called for this particular property. Let me kind of show you that one here. Again, we don't see it in this list and on your screen, but the home is going for $180,000. Of course, you would have multiple offers. It's just a lot of commotion for this one. Now it's highest and best due tomorrow at 5 p.m. So highest and best Tuesday, March 10th at 5 p.m. So make sure to, if you're interested in this area here, obviously if you're thinking about making an offer on this property, obviously reach out to your realtor. If you don't have a realtor, consider me your realtor here. 630-777-4597. Let's get out to this property. Let's take a look at it, but also let's write an offer for this property that's very competitive. And on top of that too, let me just say to you that I also am always thinking about how to, win these bid wars. I don't just treat it lightly. I don't just dabble, when it comes to offers. This is a science to me. This is a strategy. This is something that I have to, make sure that my clients win. So there's, strategy behind it. There's, different tactics that I use. So I'll, if you reach out to me here, maybe in the future I'll make a video of this, but I am, finding out ways and trying to find out more ways of how to win these multiple bid situations, because I will not just take losses laying down. I want to always improve. Anyway, so that's one property. The other one that I see here, let me see if I can pull it up. All right, bring it back here. The other one is on Woodlawn Avenue. That one is going for $175,000. So these 3 properties that we have for today that are featured are below $200,000. Now this one here, it's not like new on the market. It's been on the market for 58 days. Again, it's going for $175,000. This property is, yeah, you can see here. Now it's not the biggest property in the whole world, so maybe that's why it's been sitting in the market for some time. An investor will look at this and think, well, you know what? I really can't do much with it. I mean, it's literally just 842 square feet. So look, the reason I put it in here is because the numbers do make sense for this particular property, okay? Let me show you the map here where these homes are so you can kind of get an idea. All right, here we go, zooming out. See, they're here in Aurora. One is very close to the river, 175. That's the one that we were looking at right now. Again, what's going against this particular property that's been 58 days in the market is that it's very, very close to the Fox River. Like it's literally on Route 31. And that's a street that's very, very busy, and it's tough to sell these kind of homes. And it's only 842 square feet, you have more luck selling homes out in the residential, heavily dense residential areas like this one here, and this one is the next one on Smith Street here. It's going for $199,999, right? But it's going for $200,000. I ran the numbers for this one again here, and it looks like this property here on Smith Street, it would go for $500 cash flow. Okay, that's what the numbers are saying here for this particular property. So does it make sense? Of course it does to move forward and put an offer on this one. $199 is basically $200,000. It doesn't have a garage, for this particular property. It doesn't require a lot of work, actually. It's not really for a flip, but again, the numbers make sense for a rental. So basically, again, that's what we have here for the real estate market this morning. 21 properties out in the market that are under $300,000. Not all of these are fully fixed up. Some of these do require some work. And of the numbers that I ran, 21 of these homes, 3 of them only make sense to buy and hold. There are some properties that could be used for renting out. I could definitely show you, what are the homes that are, possible flips. I mean, I'm just focusing here on the ones that are technically the properties that are good for buy and hold. However, there are some that are for flips, right? For example, the one on Bank Street, again, that one that we just featured earlier, no wonder it has multiple offers. It's a great price for a flipper. I did see there's a flip for $57,000 if you jump on it right now. There's another one on Liberty Street that might be also great for flipping. I do see a profit there of $20,000. And the other ones that are for flip, they're off market at the moment. But if you want more information on that, you can always, again, reach out to me here at 630-777-4597, because there's other properties that are off the public books, off the public websites that are, available. So this one here, like I said, on Liberty Street, does have about $20,000 profit that I saw, that I calculated. Obviously, always do your own due diligence. Any of these numbers are just based on broker opinion. It doesn't mean that this is the actual numbers. Obviously, bring your own contractor, bring your own numbers. You're the one that's going to make the purchase here. So make sure that if you're interested in this one, I can definitely go with you. We'll take, our scanners. I'll take my flashlights. We'll go out and take a look here with my measuring tools. I'll bring in my hard hat. You know what I mean? I'm also a pseudo inspector for you, right? You're not in this alone, okay? So I try to, be everything to you. But anyway, so that's the video for today. Again, if you like this kind of information, for sure, reach out to me. That's the phone number, 630-777-4597. And this is the market report here for Monday, March the 9th, 2026. Until the next time, take care.